When was the last time you truly sat in silence? No phone, no noise, no distractions, just you. Most people run from it because silence exposes the truth to your thoughts, your fears, your emptiness. Silence isn't emptiness, it's power. But the world has trained you to fear it. And that fear keeps you weak, distracted, and endlessly seeking noise. Think about your life for a moment. How often do you sit quietly without distractions? Chances are rarely. Most people feel uncomfortable when there's no noise, no notifications, no scrolling, no chatter. Even a few seconds of silence makes their minds race, anxiety spike, and boredom take over. You've been conditioned to avoid silence at all costs, filling every moment with noise, yet deep down you feel restless, drained, and disconnected from yourself. Because silence isn't just empty, it's powerful, and most people are too afraid to tap into it. Stage 1. Silence forces self-reflection. Imagine sitting alone in a quiet room with no phone, no music, no chatter. At first, feels strange, almost uncomfortable. Your mind starts racing. Thoughts you've ignored for days, weeks, or even years begin to surface. Memories, regrets, unfulfilled dreams, and desires you never admitted to yourself all come forward. Silence forces you to face yourself without distraction. Most people run from this feeling. They scroll, talk, or play music to escape the reflection staring back at them. But what if that reflection is the key to your growth? The quiet reveals patterns you were blind to, the decisions you've avoided, the emotions you've suppressed, the truths about yourself you've been afraid to confront. That stillness, you see not just who you are, but who you could be. The brain can no longer hide behind constant noise, and the heart can no longer ignore what truly matters. The silence becomes a mirror, showing both your strengths and weaknesses, your potential and your fears. It's uncomfortable, yes, but only because it's powerful. Only because it's awakening you to a reality you've been avoiding all along. F5 2. Comfort is the gateway to growth. Have you ever noticed how most people immediately reach for their phone, turn on music, or distract themselves the moment silence creeps in? That feeling of emptiness, the racing thoughts, it's discomfort. And that discomfort is exactly what most people fear. They avoid it at all costs. But here's the truth: discomfort is not your enemy. It's the doorway to transformation. When you sit in silence, your mind stops running from itself. You feel the tension, the unresolved emotions, the doubts, and the fears. It's uncomfortable because growth rarely comes from comfort. Every breakthrough, every moment of true clarity, every step toward becoming stronger, wiser, and more self-aware begins on the other side of that unease. Think of it like exercise for your mind and soul. Just as muscles grow when challenged with resistance, your inner strength, resilience, and clarity expand when you face discomfort rather than avoid it. The discomfort whispers that change is needed, that reflection is required, that evolution is waiting. Those who run from it continue to live distracted, reactive lives. Those who embrace it discover a power few ever experience. A power that comes only when silence forces them to confront, accept, and rise above themselves. SF3. Silence boosts mental clarity. In the constant chaos of notifications, noise, and endless distractions, your mind rarely gets a moment to breathe. Thoughts pile on thoughts, tasks blur together, and decisions feel heavier than they should. But in silence, everything changes. The mind finally finds space to settle, to sort through the clutter, to see clearly. When you embrace quiet, the mental fog lifts. Ideas that seemed impossible to form suddenly emerge. Problems you've wrestled with for days appear solvable. You realize patterns you never noticed, connections that were invisible in the noise. Your brain begins to process information at a deeper level, free from the constant interruptions that hijack attention. Silence becomes more than absence of sound. It becomes a tool, a lens, a superpower for focus. In these quiet moments, you reconnect with your own thinking, your own reasoning, your own intuition. You feel sharper, calmer, more decisive. While the world outside clamors for attention, your mind is finally working at its full potential, seeing clearly what is important, what is urgent, and what truly matters. FFE4. Emotional awareness amplified as silence has a way of pulling you inward, revealing the emotions you usually push aside. In the noise of everyday life, feelings get buried under constant distraction, anger, sadness, fear, joy, or longing. But when the world quiets down, your emotions can no longer hide. At first, it can feel overwhelming. You notice tension you ignored, regrets you brushed aside, and desires you pretended didn't exist. Yet in that exposure lies profound clarity. The quiet doesn't judge, it simply allows you to observe yourself, to feel each sensation fully, and to understand what's really happening inside. This amplified emotional awareness becomes a tool for growth. You start recognizing patterns in your reactions, triggers you didn't notice, and the moments where your emotions have been controlling your decisions. The mind begins to process and release rather than suppress, giving space for healing and self-understanding. Through silence, you reconnect with your inner landscape, learning not only who you are, but why you feel the way you do. And in that understanding lies a new level of personal power. Jafafi 5. Creativity thrives in silence. Have you ever noticed how your best ideas often come when your mind isn't being bombarded by noise? Silence is the fertile ground where creativity grows. Without constant distractions, your thoughts have space to wander, connect, and spark new possibilities. When the world quiets down, your mind can explore without limits. You begin to notice patterns, see solutions to problems you've been stuck on, and imagine ideas that never surfaced in the chaos. The quiet allows your subconscious to speak, to bring forward insights that were previously buried beneath the constant stimulation of screens, notifications, and chatter. Silence becomes a canvas for your imagination. It's in these moments that inventors, writers, artists, and thinkers have discovered breakthroughs. The mind starts linking ideas freely, combining concepts in ways it never could when pulled in 100 directions. It's as if silence removes the walls that confine thought, giving your creativity full permission to flow. In the absence of noise, your inner genius finally gets a voice, and what emerges can transform not just your work, but your life. S6 reduces stress and anxiety. In the constant hustle of modern life, stress and anxiety have become almost normal. Notifications, deadlines, endless noise, they never stop. But silence offers a refuge, a place where your nervous system can finally relax. When you embrace quiet, the constant flood of stimulation ceases. Your breath slows, your heart rate steadies, and the mind begins to untangle itself from the chaos. Anxiety, which thrives on constant distraction and overthinking, finds no foothold. In silence, you can observe your thoughts without judgment, noticing the fears and worries that normally control your day. This calm isn't just temporary relief. It's a reset. Each moment of stillness trains your mind to handle stress more effectively, strengthens your emotional resilience, and builds the capacity to respond rather than react. The nervous system, constantly on edge, gets a chance to recharge. The chaos of the outside world no longer dictates your inner peace. In silence, you reclaim control over your mind and body, discovering a serenity that isn't dependent on external circumstances but comes from within. FS7 deepens relationships. It may seem surprising, but becoming comfortable with silence within yourself directly improves your connections with others. Most people fear silence and fill it with noise, small talk, distractions, or constant entertainment, because they can't tolerate being alone with their thoughts. That discomfort often spills over into relationships, creating shallow interactions and a lack of true presence. When you learn to embrace silence, you gain the ability to listen, not just hear words, but truly understand the people around you. You become fully present, patient, and attuned to emotions and unspoken cues. Conversations deepen naturally because you're no longer afraid of pauses. Instead, you respect them and allow space for authenticity. Silence also teaches empathy. By being in tune with your inner world, you better comprehend the complexities of others. The patience and mindfulness cultivated in solitude transform your interactions, allowing you to connect on levels few experience. Your relationships stop being transactional or surface level and begin to resonate with meaning, intimacy, and mutual respect. Silence, in essence, gives you the power to form bonds that are not only deeper but also far more fulfilling. Fatlit. Build self-discipline in choosing silence in a world filled with constant noise is one of the simplest yet most powerful exercises in self-discipline. Every day, distractions are at your fingertips. Phones, notifications, entertainment chatter. Opting to embrace quiet, to resist the pull of instant stimulation, is a deliberate act of control over your mind. This act strengthens your willpower. Each moment spent in silence is a practice in resisting impulses, in training your brain to delay gratification and focus on what truly matters. The more you sit with your thoughts without giving in to distraction, the more resilient your mind becomes. You start noticing how easily you can regain control over impulses that previously dominated you. Silence transforms self-discipline from a chore into a superpower. It teaches patience, persistence, and the ability to endure discomfort for long-term gain. Over time, this discipline permeates other areas of your life, work, relationships, health, and personal growth. You become less reactive, more intentional, increasingly capable of choosing actions that align with your highest goals. In a world that constantly demands your attention, mastering silence is mastering yourself. FD9, spiritual connection strengthened. Silence is the gateway to something deeper than the mind, a connection to your inner self, to your intuition, and for many, to the spiritual essence of life. In the constant noise of modern existence, connection is often buried beneath distractions, obligations, and external stimuli. But in quiet, the soul finds a voice. When you embrace stillness, you begin to hear your inner guidance, subtle nudges and wisdom that everyday life usually drowns out. Thoughts that normally race past in chaos slow down, revealing truths you've long ignored. Meditation, reflection, or simply sitting in quiet allows you to sense patterns, purpose, and meaning in your life that are invisible in noise. Spiritual connection isn't about religion. It's about presence, awareness, and alignment with something greater than momentary impulses. Silence gives you the space to contemplate, to feel gratitude, to connect with your deepest values and the essence of life itself. It nurtures a calm-centeredness that is not dependent on circumstances and an understanding that your life is more than the sum of distractions. In silence, the soul awakens and your inner compass begins to guide you with clarity and purpose. 10. Reveals life's priorities. In the constant hum of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Tasks pile up, distractions compete for attention, and obligations cloud judgment. Silence acts like a spotlight, cutting through the noise and illuminating your real priorities. When you sit in stillness, free from external demands, your mind begins to sort what is urgent versus what is essential. Thoughts about trivial concerns fade, while clarity rises around the people, goals, and actions that genuinely matter. Suddenly, you realize how much time has been wasted on meaningless pursuits and how little attention has been given to what fuels your growth. Happiness, silence allows you to reassess life choices without the pressure of outside influence. Decisions become intentional rather than reactive, guided by values and true desires rather than fleeting impulses or societal expectations. In this quiet reflection, the fog of distraction lifts and the path forward becomes clearer. Life's priorities, once hidden beneath noise, emerge with unmistakable clarity, revealing where energy, time, and focus should truly be invested to live fully, consciously, and powerfully. Remember, silence is not emptiness, it's power. Every moment you avoid stillness, you miss the chance to connect with your true thoughts, understand your emotions, and discover your real priorities. Silence challenges you, but it also awakens your mind, heart, and soul. Right now, take a small step. Sit in complete silence for just 5 minutes. No phone, no music, no distractions. Feel your thoughts, observe your emotions, and notice what surfaces. Make this a daily practice, even for a few minutes, and watch your clarity, focus, strength grow. Because when you learn to embrace silence, you unlock a superpower inside yourself. Your mind becomes clear, your heart stronger, your focus sharper. The world may be noisy, but within you, peace, power, and wisdom are waiting to be claimed. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it. And for more motivational talks, life-changing insights, and tips to master your mind, subscribe, and stay connected. Your journey to inner power starts